Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I know I've been kind of AWOL for a while, but it has been a spring. You know, it has just been a spring. Has been busy and it has been stressful. And now it is Monday, May 27th. Happy Memorial Day. I don't know, do you say Happy Memorial Day? Thank you for your service. Memorial Day, I guess. And I have to get back into it because I miss it, and I just haven't been sitting at my craft desk. And the thing that I was working, I kind of got a little stale. So I've just set it aside for a while, and I've been thinking about this project. So I'm going to shift gears, and then at some point I'll go back to the other one I was working on. So I've been doing a lot of classification file folders, and these are classification file folders. They're different types. So this is the kind that I first found. I got this set of these on eBay. These are used vintage ones, and they're very tall, and they were used. They had labels on them, and they have this lovely kind of vintage browns and reds. And the spines are pleated accordion spines, and the material's like a Tyvek material. And they're used in like law offices and doctors' offices to keep files organized. And they have some tabs. And I've made a whole bunch of journals out of them. And I have a playlist and some things, and I will link that right there. And I'll try and put it in the description box below. So you can click on those at your leisure. So you've got that kind. Then after I found those, I ordered some new ones off of Amazon. So this is a smaller size. It's more of a letter size. And you can see this construction is a little bit different. They're still Tyvek, but it's this lovely green color. And it's not like so many things, right? Doesn't feel quite as sturdy as the vintage one. The vintage one, I'm sure, was made by people, and this was made in a factory, but it's still lovely, and it makes a great journal. So I've used this as well. And then I found this set here. So this is a legal size set. I haven't even opened it. I found this a few weeks ago at Staples. Now, if you have a Staples, and probably any kind of office store, I always go to the back of the store because that's where they have their clearance. And you can find some really good deals. And I found this in the clearance section, and I spied it from like across the room, and I like zipped over, beeline. I was like, this is mine. It's coming home with me. And I think it must have sat on the shelf for a long time because it's a bit discolored, but hey, we like that, right? And this one's blue. So maybe I'll do an ocean one, but it is also legal sized. I think I got this for like $5, or it was something really like too good to pass by. So yeah, so it's a little discolored, but I like discolored. Discolored gives the vintage vibe. So this one seems to only have one internal folder. That's okay. I will figure that out. And so I'm going to put this aside, but here's what I was thinking was, I want to make one that's a traveler's notebook size, and I want to make make it in the style of the classification file folder, but not pre-made. Like, I want to use my scrapbook papers and fabrics and make a pretty summery, fun one from scrapbook materials, from junk journal materials that we all probably have on hand. So in case you don't have classification file folders, or you can't find them, or you don't want to spend more money on one more craft supply, let's try and make one from stuff we have. So here's my plan. Where's my pencil? So this is my little idea book here that I keep by my desk. And so a traveler's notebook is usually, a standard size is 11 by 21 centimeters or 4.3 by 8 1/4 inches. So I'm going to be working in inches. I apologize to the metric set. You know, we here in the United States just can't seem to get with the program. I know. I'm sorry. Can't do anything about it. So I'm doing it in inches, but I'm sure you can figure it out if you work in metric. Because what I just did is I know I want to have a spine, and so I need to leave space for the spine. Each cover needs to be 8 1/4 inches. And the height, I'm going to make 4.5 because it's 4.3. And I'm not going to measure 4.3 inches on my thing. So I just made it 4.5 inches tall. Inches. This is inches. And so altogether, that's 17 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall. Now I want to have the two flaps on the inside. And one of the things I like about these classification file holders, let me pull that back in for a sec, is these ones with the two flaps. You're essentially making a lap book in terms of surface area, but you don't have to do that whole, you know, oh, I'm going to show you this side and I'm going to roll it up and then I'm going to move it over and I'm going to show you that side. Like, it's all contained. So you get all the features of being able to include flips and flaps and things on all these different surfaces, but it's all contained within the covers of the page of the book, which I really like. And because it's a little expandable, you know, it can get pretty thick. I mean, definitely check out like my my case file ones, my Sherlock ones. They're very expandable and they get nice and thick. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to make it like summery and fun. So I made the inner ones smaller, just by a hair. So they're going to be 8 inches on either side. I'm going to make the spine 3/8 inch so that it's a little bit smaller and can still, everything will close up nicely. And I'm going to use fabric for the spine. And I think I'm also going to reinforce it with some Tyvek. So that is the general idea. Now I thought about the tabs, and you can either cut the tabs out of the existing size, or you can add them on later. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add tabs on later. I have a couple of different kinds of tab punches that I'll use. And I'll just clip that out of some excess leftover paper material and add them on, which I think is fine. And I think it will also add to the whimsy of this particular project. So that was actually, I shouldn't put that away because I'll forget. I'll go, what was that length? Okay, I'm going to put this to the side. Now, I am using Crafts Consortium. Look how fun this is. This is Tropical Paradise. You know, does that not just say summer fun? I think it does. So I'm going to use this Tropical Paradise pad. It's Crafts Consortium. It makes wonderful papers. They're vibrant colors. They're double-sided. They're 180 GSM. They're just really high-quality papers. I love this series of paper. So I picked out these two. And what I think I'm going to do is, this is 12 by 12. So I can get 2 out of each one. But it's not going to be tall enough, but it's not going to be wide enough. But hold on. I think I might have to do this to work this out in my brain. I can always use more paper. So the front cover needs to be 8 1/4 by 4.5. So I'm going to cut my 4.5 first. Let me just do, oops. See, how fun is that? This just makes me think of like summer drinks. And this is just like fun flamingos. Okay, so I'm going to do my 4.5 inch height first. 4.5. That doesn't seem right. 4.5 wide. and 8.5 tall. Four and a half wide. All right, so let's do, it's kind of directional, so it's actually got to be like this. So this is the width, 4.5. Why is my brain glitching all of a sudden? So that's going to be the width, 4.5, 4.5, extra for tabs. Okay, so now it's got to be 8. I had my measurements backwards. Okay, that's why I drew it backwards. Okay, and it's got to be 8.25 tall. 8 8.25 tall. That was what is messing me up. 8.25 tall. That looks about right. 8.25 tall. Okay. All right. So I think that's going to be on the outside. Okay. So now for this one, I need 8, and I need it to be smaller than 8.25. So that's 8.25. So let's do 8 and 1/8. Yes, I know I'm switching it up, but you know, sometimes that happens. 8 1/8 tall, so it's shorter than that. And then instead of 4.5 wide, we'll do 4.25. That's 4.5, so that's 4.25. 4.25. It's so fun. This paper is just fun. 4.25. Okay. So, let's see if I screwed this up or not. So that's going to be the outer cover. Like that, and this is going to be the inner cover like that, and then I need my fabric. Let's see, how much of this do I have? Just grab my handy dandy ruler. Well, I've got more than 18, so the height was 8/16, so I should be able to cut this in half, and it should fit so I can use it on both. Yes, that will work just fine. I'm going to cut it in half. This is Sari Silk Remnants that I got. It came in like a really dense roll. I think I might have gotten it from Amour Fabriques. I don't remember now. I've had it for a long time. And when you unroll it, it's this really long length of different kinds of used sari silks that are come in all kinds of fun, vibrant colors. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to, what's the front? The outer. Okay, that's the outer, this is the inner. So this is gonna go like this. I think I'm going to put, I'll cut it down afterwards. And I only need like a 1/2 inch. Just trying to line it up on my mat. So if that's a 1/2 inch there, and that's a 1/2 inch there. I got that straight. Then I can take, where's my Tyvek? I take a piece of Tyvek and cut it down. So this Tyvek is a used mailer. So if you're in the United States and people send you things in these Tyvek mailers, save them. Don't throw them out, because you can almost always recover a section that is usable. So I'm going to just eyeball the measurement like that. And then don't need this to be very wide. I'm just using it to give a little bit of strength to the spine. So it doesn't need to be huge. So cut that down. And since this is just going to be sandwiched between the 2 strips of fabric, no one's ever going to see it. I don't have to be worried too much about how pretty it looks. But I'd rather it be just a smidge short than hanging over. Okay, that works. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I probably will sew this, but when it comes time to sew it, it will be off camera. Okay, I'm going to flip this over like this. Make sure that it's all lined up and it's the 1/2 inch. I mean, there's nothing that says you have to do a 1/2 inch. I just think that's all I need. And then this, I'm just wondering, do I want this to be less wide? Because right now it's covering up a significant amount of the cover. If I want to, right now it's going to be it's going to be a major focus of the cover. So if I want to put something on the cover, it's going to have to go over. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to do it. I'm going to cut this down after all. Okay. That can be a cute little tab. All right. So now, get this all nice and straight. I think I'm going to use a little bit of art glitter glue. Oh, do I want to round corners? No, I'm not going to round corners, because I might make some, if I round corners, I'll just round the corners that are exposed. All right, so I just want to smush that down because I don't want it to be seen through the fabric. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Smoosh that down. I like this color. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that I am at 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Need some weights here to help me out. There, that helps. Those weights really help when you just need that extra set of hands, but you're human, so you only have 2 to begin with. Okay. Shoot. I did it inside out. All right, we're going to start on this side. All right. There we go. There's that one. I'm going to repeat the process here. 1/2 inch. More glue. Give it a smoosh. No, this is right. Wow, I am so out of practice. Everything is confusing me. All right. So that's going to be the outer cover. Will look like that. I like that. Okay, so now I want to take my piece of, oh my God. Have I been off screen? No, I haven't been off screen. Thank goodness. All right, so I'm still working on the front cover. I'm just gonna get it all lined up kind of straight here as much as I can. It's not perfectly balanced, but that's okay. Use my weight. Now I need to do my Tyvek. And I just want to do it so that everything gets strengthened. I think I'm going to use the white side on the outside. And I also think that I'm going to just glue stick this down because I am going to sew. Once it's all set and I'm off camera, I will sew it because I'm not able to film while I sew, and it makes a lot of noise, and there's no point in. So how do I like this Mondo glue stick I found? All-purpose washable glue stick by Darice. Extra large, non-toxic, acid-free. Crazy huge. Seems to work quite well until you drop it. Okay. I'm going to put some Tyvek here. So that I want to make sure that this can still fold nicely with that Tyvek in there. There. Okay, so that will give it some extra strength. And now I want my other, where is it? Here. These 2 pages. I think I want them to go like this. Line them up so that they match. Going to grab some clips. Some clips just to hold them in place. Like that. I want to center them because I did make them a smidge smaller on purpose. So I should be lining up this edge here, not the outer edge. There we go. That makes more sense. Lining up the inside edge of this flap with the inside edge of that flap, because I definitely made them a little bit smaller than the front so that they'll be covered by the front. Okay. A thing to consider now if you're doing it is if you want to cut the tabs, the inner tabs. But like I say, I think I am going to add the tabs so they'll be peeking out. I think that will be cute. But if you don't want your tabs to peek out, then you could cut them before you cut them out of this paper before you glue them in. Okay, so where's my other piece of fabric? So now this fabric is going to need to go with this side being the right side facing out. And I'm just gonna Oops, that's not the right scissor. Just going to cut this down a smidge, like so. Whoops. Some fuzzers. Okay, so now what I need is some glue here, some glue here, and just a line of glue down the center to hold it in place. Cut off some of these fuzzers here. All right, so that essentially is how, oh, I didn't think of that. That's okay. I'll put something pretty there so you don't see that. One flap, the center. Here's another flap. There we go. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. And we'll figure out something pretty, or like maybe some pockets or things to cover up that. I didn't think that went through very well. But that's what you're getting. It's a prototype. This is my first time doing it like this. Yeah, so we have a nice little waterfall. I don't know if you can see that, but you do wind up with this nice little cascade waterfall effect on in both directions. And you have some wiggle room, and we'll be able to put some papers in here inside for a signature, or you could do some notepads. But I will do some future videos once this is dry and sewn to show you what I've decided to do with my little Traveler's Notebook mini classification file folder journal. Thanks so much for stopping by. Stay tuned for future installments of this project. And if you could, click like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe. Bye-bye.